Ladies and mostly gentlemen, today we're going to talk about the Torghast changes in 9.1. We've got Adam here to chat with us about it. How's it going, Adam?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. So, yeah, so the TLDR, I guess, is that they're doing a rework of Torghast in 9.1 to have a score system factoring in speed and death. That's kind of like the Wowhead post that they did. It come from an interview with Ian, with PC Gamer. So yeah, essentially, I mean, it was kind of predictable that they were going to make changes to Torghast. I know you don't like Torghast very much.
That is not true. That is a dirty lie. I actually love Torghast, but I think there needs a little more. There needs to be a little more of a reason to go inside. You know what I mean? Other than Soul Ash. That's my biggest complaint, and that's what I've been complaining about ever since I was on the beta.
Right.
I was like, hey, there needs to be some more stuff in here, but there hasn't been.
Well,
so that's why I don't like going in.
Don't worry, Adam. They're adding some stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. But
yeah.
So this is what Ian said. Basically, in an interview with PC Gamer, he said. So I think they were just talking about Torghast in general, and he said basically, what if instead we had more of a rating or a score, where it's more of a spectrum, a continuum of success, trying to do better, trying to be more efficient, trying to be faster and fewer deaths. And then he said, but you can have some rewards to show for it. He said, you always want to do better, and you're never leaving empty-handed unless you fail on the first floor. Now, that's one thing that's pretty interesting, actually, because right now in Torghast, you fail any floor, you don't get anything. Literally nothing, right? It's a complete waste of time. So I think that's a good change, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've always wondered why, like you just said, if you like Alt F4 by accident or whatever, you can't continue, or you die too early, you get nothing. I always wondered why they didn't implement the same kind of thing with divisions, where if you die, you still get something at the end, right?
That's true, actually.
I don't know why they didn't implement that, yeah.
That is weird. Yeah, because obviously, like, at the moment, the literal only thing you get from, like, regular Torghast is Soul Ash, and then in Twisted Corridors, you've got all those kind of, like, rewards that aren't really that great, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just, like, one mount and one pet, right? And a title.
Yeah.
And a toy, I think. You have a video on it, don't you?
Yeah, there's some other bits and pieces in there. It's not, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with Twisted Corridors. They did say, like, in an interview that they're planning something, but nothing to announce right now, apparently. So the data mined, Wowhead also data mined some, like, random score-related data mine spells, like elites rewarding, like, a percentage amount of score and things like that. We also looked on the PTR. They also added a bunch of new achievements. So you have, like, Torghast Tracking 9.1, Layer 9. So it looks like it's going up to Layer 12 in total. And it also mentions stars as a rating. So it says, achieve 4+ stars in Layer 11. So it seems like a star system. Do you think it'll go to 10, or do you think it'll go to 5?
I mean, I think 5 seems like enough. Maybe 10, like, down the line, sure. But the one thing I'm concerned about is when I heard that they were taking out the deaths and the Terror Grew and stuff like that. Those things are what made Torghast, like, challenging and, like, scary. You know, there was, like, excitement when you go in, but when you take that out, I feel like that, like, what's the word? Like, I feel like that's just gonna be, it's gonna be like a cakewalk. You know what I mean? I'm really afraid that, like, Torghast is known to be hard and, like, something you need to power through and challenge yourself with. But now that that's taken away, I feel like it's just going to be a little more easier.
Yeah.
And people are just like, oh, they're just going to steamroll through it. But I mean, we'll see how the rating stuff and the deaths go, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see it, like, pretty soon on the PTR, to be honest. At the moment on the PTR, it's closed. But, like, it said, like, focusing on speed, like, is a really interesting part, like, focusing on speed of Torghast, because that's just something that you don't think about. Like, Torghast, what's so good about it is that you can literally take as long as you like to do it. And if you're focusing on speed to get a higher rating, then I don't know, especially with, like, them potentially adding the score for Mythic Plus as well. So it sounds like they're kind of going in that direction, like a Raider IO sort of thing. And I wonder if that could potentially turn into an esport as well. I don't really know what their plans are in regards to that. But they also did mention about rewards, as Ian said about rewards. So currently, as we mentioned, Soul Ash being the only reward from Torghast, regular Torghast at least. But there is, Adam, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. There is a new currency coming in 9.1, and it's called Mega Soul Ash. Not just Soul Ash.
Really?
Mega Soul Ash, yeah. Super, mega, amazing Soul Ash. And it actually says, the tooltip says Soul Ash, but Mega. I don't know if this is a troll to troll data miners. It's just really weird. What a weird choice of name.
The one thing we were talking about before recording, like, why? Because we talked about how in 9.1 they're going to get rid of Soul Ash for like upgrading your legendaries even more.
Yeah.
So I'm not really understanding why Soul Ash is still in Torghast when we won't even need it to upgrade our legendaries. Like, what else are we going to possibly need it for? Are we going to need it for other things that they're going to implement later on? I'm not sure.
Like a
What do
vendor,
you think?
like a
Oh, hey, maybe.
cosmetic vendor. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be pretty cool.
That would be great. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
That's a good idea.
yeah. I mean, I mentioned before, like it's so like I don't know. You just don't feel that motivated to do Torghast when literally the reward is just Soul Ash. Like I hope they add some sort of transmog or weapons or any sort of progression in there to give you something. Like achievements are fine. Soul Ash is fine, I guess, but I really feel like we need something more. I mean, I was mentioning just before, like there is a mount that was kind of on the mount journal from Torghast called the Morsworn Charger, which is it says that it's from an achievement in Torghast. So it's a pretty great looking mount. It's that new horse, like spectral horse looking thing. Presumably it flies because you know everything flies now. It flies now,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I think. I don't know, like I really want like a ton of mounts. Like I don't even care if they're recolors. Like I just want something to achieve inside Torghast. You know, if you get like a good rating or whatever, then maybe you get like a fancy mount or a bit of transmog. Like I guess with the legendary stuff, because there's so many different colors of the legendary sets, they could add that. But the thing is,
we were
with
talking about that earlier. Yeah, I mean, I think that they're gonna add those colors into the new raid.
it's the
right?
raid, yeah. The raid is using
Yeah.
those things, so I don't know if they're gonna like do something with that. I mean, my suggestion was to just throw in the island stuff I mentioned to you a minute ago, because all of that is just completely eradicated now. You can't solo queue for islands, so essentially, like all of that stuff, unless you grab 3 people for it, which is like pretty specific, and
Maybe
farm
if
that.
they like, yeah, maybe if they like recolored some of the old, like the other island gear, I guess, just to make it a little more unique. I
Yeah.
think what I've been like preaching for a really long time is to add like a male muncher type mount in Torghast. Like, say you have to kill like a specific NPC or click something in the corner that you would normally miss, and then something spawns and you have to kill it, and you get this really unique looking mount. I think that would be great for Torghast.
Yeah, just like
What do you-
little secrets in there. Like they've got all
Yeah.
these new models that they're putting in from like the hand mount, for example, looking absolutely amazing,
I love
and
that mount,
and
yeah.
whatnot. There is actually, I mean, talk about cosmetics. There's actually this would be random. I don't know how people would feel about this, but there is actually unused colors of Ice Crown Citadel tier gear. Did you know that?
I did know that because you made a video about them in the what you
Imagine.
wanted to see in pre-batch.
Yeah, so there you go. Like, maybe
Yeah.
maybe Blizzard add that, please, because that'll be. I mean, it's something, right? I think a vendor's fine. Like I love. I don't know what it is. I think it's something visceral inside me from like old WoW. I love vendors. Like I love the PvP vendor. I love the Badge of Justice vendor in Burning Crusade. I love the
Yeah.
Valor vendor. Like all of that stuff, right? And we just don't have that. So I think like a Soul Ash or Mega Soul Ash vendor would be fine. Like they added one for islands, and it made islands slightly more bearable, you know, in regards to like getting rewards, because it was a freaking nightmare beforehand.
Yeah. You know what would be my dream for Torghast? So the meta for like max level content when you're a casual player, right, is to go into old raids and farm transmog, right?
Mhm.
What if they made Torghast like kind of like a solo raid, which it basically already is, but it has these named NPCs laying around, and these named NPCs have like a loot journal, and you can target different cosmetic items to go after. And hey, maybe they can even implement the they said they were going to do class gear, right? Eventually, sometime during Shadowlands, maybe they can implement it that way, like Maw themed class gear. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind like Torghast having some sort of item progression, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, everything at the moment in essentially in Shadowlands is, you know, if you want to get gear, it's Mythic Plus, it's raiding, and there's no like solo way to get gear. I mean, the rep gear was completely eradicated pretty much instantly as soon as the game launched, and profession gear is just in a sorry state. So I think having a solo method of getting gear, even if it is like getting badges and stuff like that, and getting it and going to a vendor to buy it, like I remember, do you remember in Legion when they had that? Was it? Oh God, what was the currency called? And used to buy the set pieces, and they would just like, and you buy the tokens. What was the currency? It was like Argonite or something, Veiled Argonite. Do you remember
I
that?
think so.
It was something like that. It was essentially like you could get that currency on your own. Like you didn't have to
Yeah.
get a big group for it. And I know a lot of people, especially with like more recent times with retail, there's a lot of people who do play on their own. And I think having a solo progression like that is fine, honestly. But
Exactly. I mean, there are a lot of times where I love playing with my friends, but I gotta be honest, the majority of the time I appear offline and I play on my own. You know what I mean? So having something like that just to do like on my own time, like without anybody else, just turn off my brain and listen to lo-fi hip hop,
Yeah,
that'll be great.
good times. So overall, Adam, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's a good change or a bad change? Score system for Torghast.
I I said before, I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like I'm worried that Torghast is just gonna get really easy, but I'm also curious to see how it plays, and I hope that we can get it on our hands and in the near future on the PTR or something like that, so we can test it out and stream it, make videos about it, whatever, and see how everybody else feels about it. I'm just overall like I'm hopeful for Torghast because there's just so much possibility and there's so much potential in it, and it still is early Shadowlands. It's still early in the expansion, so we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see it. Like, we've got raid testing next week. In fact, raid testing today and then some more probably next week.
Right.
So hopefully the next build that comes up is going to have Torghast unlocked. And, as I mentioned, we'll do a video about it, looking at all the ins and outs of it. But it's always fun to speculate on what could potentially be there. But I really do hope they take a good look at the Torghast rewards, because it's a great system. Like, it's a great system that really could be even better. It's just Definitely. One of those. And they've made leaps and bounds in technology to create it, like how random it is and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of potential there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Yeah, guys, before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome. And yeah, if you want to check me out on stream, I'm streaming every single day over on twitch.tv/MrGM, looking at the PTR stuff, hopefully looking at this soon. And yeah, with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.